Joining us now, Democratic Congresswoman Janelle Bynum of Oregon, whose district includes parts of Portland. Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining us. You know, the thing I think that struck all of us the most was the president saying he was authorizing the use of full force, if necessary, to whoever these troops are that they are thinking about sending to Portland. What is your reaction to that?
My reaction is that, you know, I've done over 18 town halls, and not one time has any Oregonian ever said, you know, we need to fix up Portland, we need to send troops, we need the president to help us. No, they've told me every single time, we got this.
They're not worried about it at all.
No, I mean, every city has its challenges and every city has its work to do. But if you look online, you'll see that life is pretty bucolic in Portland.
Is this, we had some Democrats come on in the earlier hours who have essentially said that this is the Department of War in search of a war. Is that an assessment you agree with?
Yeah, I mean, what he's trying to do is use our National Guardsmen as toy soldiers, and none of them signed up for that. Yesterday, we had a town hall just called at a moment's notice. We had over 13,000 people participate, and one of the callers said, I'm a veteran. I don't like this. We didn't sign up for this. And they're telling us over and over again, like, we don't know where the president's getting his information from, but it's certainly not true.
Do you think that this is an attempt to ramp up immigration enforcement in Portland, to conduct more immigration arrests?
What I've found is that the Trump administration doesn't really have a plan. He's just going by his gut, figuring out what he can do. I have a 15-year-old son, so I kind of get an idea of what he's thinking. It's just kind of random, whatever the gut feels at the moment, no rhyme or reason. It's just 15-year-old, you know, little boy energy.
I want to play for you what the president said on Thursday in the Oval Office, talking about your city and Antifa.
If someone takes to the streets of America and says they're Antifa, what happens to them? What will happen to them?
Well, I'd say the maximum under the law, and we'll see. Now, if they kill somebody, we just signed a death penalty, so it depends where it is. But if they kill somebody, which they do, I mean, people are dying. You go out to Portland, people die out there. Many people have died over the years in Portland. Portland is, I don't know how anybody lives there. It's amazing. But it's anarchy out there, and that's what they want.
Now, he's been obsessed with Portland since 2020, right? Like when there were protests, and at night there were some folks that, you know, busted out some windows, some fires. That did happen. But what's happening now, there are protests against ICE, but they're smaller in number. No one has died. There's been some injuries. But what we just heard from the president there talking about Antifa, which means anti-fascist. So if you're against Antifa, that's what it is. It's not a group. It's not a group that you can designate. And what we're hearing from him seems to be an excuse for the troops, for Stephen Miller, who's now kind of leading this domestic terrorism group that they've created, to do whatever they want, that the language is important to use it that way, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to do what they want to do.
So first of all, they hate us because they ain't us. So he's making up things in his head. The last time Trump sent, you know, his goons to town, we ran him out of town. I sued him. And that's, I think, where maybe some of his obsession is coming from. He knows he lost and he wants to come back. And then third, again, you know, people told me in the 18 town halls, 13,000 people we had on yesterday, they don't want this. I don't know where he's getting his information, but it's certainly not true.
Congresswoman, we're about 48 hours or so away from a government shutdown potentially, and NBC's Kristen Welker just got a statement from Senate Majority Leader Thune, who said that rank-and-file Democrats are getting nervous, and Senator Schumer is too. The far left has painted them into an unsustainable corner, and they know it. He also goes on to say that Democrats can either vote for a clean, short-term, nonpartisan CR, or they can choose a shutdown. What's your response to that? Are you getting nervous?
Ain't nothing clean about Republican proposals. Ain't nothing clean about any of them that are putting any kind of proposal on the table right now. It ain't clean. They've got poison pills in everything. And it is more important to understand that Republicans run the House, they run the Senate, and they run the presidency. They own everything that is happening right now. If they want to come to the table, put something really clean on the table.
Right. I do think in this conversation about a shutdown, it is important to point out that they need 7 Democrats in the Senate in order to get anything through. But Congressman Pete Aguilar just came on our show and basically said, he's obviously the chair of the House Democratic Caucus, that Democrats are prepared to reject a bill if it does not include concessions on health care that you all have been agitating for. Is that true?
I like to think of things in the affirmative. I am going to vote for a bill that makes sure that Oregonians get what they need and that we're not trading billionaires for average Americans. That is the affirmative action that we want. That is what is going to make sure that Americans have health care in this country. And in those 18 town halls, people told me over and over and over again, it was non-negotiable not to have health care.
Congresswoman, I assume you were at the Phoenix Awards last night?
I was.
You were there. Okay, so I want to play some sound, what you've already heard, but our folks that are watching may not have, from Vice President Harris talking about this moment.
A time such as this demands that we win the midterms and enforce checks and balances on this unchecked, incompetent, unhinged president. That at a time such as this, it demands one thing for sure. We must fight fire with fire.
What does it look like to fight fire with fire? Rhetorically, obviously, is what she means, when it comes to the president sending troops to your city.
Well, first of all, the math has to math, and I want to acknowledge that you can't do anything without numbers. And even though we don't have the numbers in Congress, we do have the numbers in the streets. We do have solidarity across Oregon and across the country. Nobody wants what Trump is sending. If anything, he needs to run us our money.
Are there any, just really quick, any sort of logistical items that are happening right now behind the scenes with the mayor to sort of take precautions against what is about to happen in Portland?
I think what people are doing is wrapping their head around what this really is, which is a distraction. And as I said earlier, the distraction is that they took away money that was allotted for water projects, road projects, election projects, and they gave it to billionaires. That's what this distraction is about. If anything, run us our money.
Congresswoman Janelle Bynum with the message, run her money. Thank you so much for coming on the show this morning.